Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today is another spooky reads for spooky Saturdays. And so we're back with some more reading from Let's Not Meet. But instead of reading multiple different types of stories, I found one where it's a multi-parter. I think there's 4 parts. Well, technically 5, but the first 2 are kind of like connected to each other. I took a brief skimming on it, so I don't know like entirely what's going on in there. But we're gonna read that story today, and that story is called Someone Is Watching Me. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited because it's been a while since our last spooky reads. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so here we are with Let's Not Meet. Now, as mentioned, as this, I probably did like a little mini intro thing. This is a multi-part, kind of thing. So this is what we're going to be reading today. We're just going to be reading one story, but it's a multi-parter. So since it is a multi-parter, I'm probably just going to read the whole thing first. Or at least read each, I don't know, maybe each update first. And then, like, you know, talk about it a little bit, you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, let's begin. The start of this was 4 months ago, so it wasn't that long ago. So let's begin. Someone is watching me. Updates will be posted at the end. I got the updates in tabs, but besides the point. So I've never posted on the sub, though I have other stories I've buried deep until recently. But this is happening in the present. I have had people stalk and follow me before, and because of that, my true crime addiction, I've become supremely paranoid and a solid curtain twitcher. I, 31 female, reside in an upstairs room that was my first room to myself as a child. I had to leave a bad situation, and therefore ended up back at my childhood home. For reference, when our home was built, we were told that the field to our left, with horses and a barn at the time, would one day soon be a development. It was 2000 when we were told that, and it wasn't until 2022 the road started being formed and foundations laid. I'd already had someone follow me home before when I was young, posted about it, but I don't know how to link. But I was in a different bedroom next door. My parents put me in a free library that's right below my window. Wait, my parents put in a free library. I can English. My parents put in a free library that's right below my window, and nighttime security lights that are very bright turn on if you're within 20 feet of the side of my house my room is on. I'll admit, having an open field next to me so long made me accustomed to not closing the curtains when I change, because there was never anyone to watch. Now there is. For the past 2 weeks, the burglar lights next to the free library have been going off late at night, because my one side of the curtain is open so I can use my vape. That's the only reason I noticed at all. I didn't think too much at first. We lock all the doors and windows every night, and I'm on the 2nd floor. I always looked out to see if it was a car, someone walking their dog, or a deer, only to see nothing. To add, they put in a shit ton of streetlights around this area, so visibility is great. But it just kept happening. So last night I did my usual. I saw the lights come on and out of my peripherals. I acted natural, giving full view out the window. I was going to bed. It was about 3 a.m., turning the TV off, closing the window and curtains, turning the light out. Then I ducked down, peering through the curtain to the sidewalk below. I honestly thought I was going to pass out when after a few minutes, maybe 5, someone comes out from the side of my house, silhouette, dressed in black. They kept their back to me until I turned the light off. Until the light turned off. But I could swear I could still see them standing there, looking up like they could see me. I called the police, but while I was on my phone with the operator, I saw them run off. There wasn't much they could do, except say that they have a car drive around and look. My parents are asleep, and I know I'll have to tell them tomorrow. This scares the crap out of me. If it hadn't been happening for weeks and was a solo incident, I would probably be fine about it. But the fact that the light has been going off without me seeing activity, and what happened tonight makes me think that this person has been watching me and watching my house. To the person outside my window, let's please never fucking meet. Small update. I did tell my parents, and at first they brushed me off, claiming I'd had a couple drinks and it was late. So I probably just saw someone check out the library. I then had another conversation about it with just my dad, who said there had been reports last couple of weeks of car break-ins, and since my car is parked on my side of the street, right outside my window, maybe they were trying to break into it. I pointed out that if he was trying to get into my car, why would he be pressed up against a house where he wasn't visible from my window? And why did he at no point go towards my car? I think I freaked him out enough that we are going to potentially get a camera for that area. Given all the development happening around us, I think it's smart even without this incident. Thank you for all your advice and advice. I'll update here again if anything happens. Well, it just so happens that there is another update. Multiple updates. Which honestly is the real scary part, the fact that there is multiple updates. So, on to the next one. So, this was 4 months ago, so it wasn't that far apart from the first one. So, here is the next update. So I posted the first part of this a few days ago, and now have an unfortunate update. Original link below, which we just read. There hasn't been any activity since the night after I originally posted. I was on a phone call the very next night with a friend when I noticed someone standing outside, completely shrouded in darkness. I proceeded to talk loudly about how some creep was watching me, and that they better watch out. Stupid, yes. But it seemed to work because all was quiet after that. Or so I thought. Tonight was one of my oldest friends' last night in town, so I was out until about 9:30 p.m., drove 2 friends home, and then myself. Since it was early, I wasn't that worried, but still alert. I drove to the side of the street he hid on the last time, even though it was out of my way, and saw nothing out of the ordinary. Sorry about that. I noticed one of the new houses that's being built had its lights on, which I didn't think much of in the moment. Fast forward an hour and started hearing a weird loud banging across the way. I know it's risky, but I'm not letting some asshole dictate my comfort. And so I have also been watching for activity, pretending so I can maybe catch them. So I've kept my window open as usual, hence why it's dumb to razz him the other night by talking about someone watching me, but I digress. It stopped, so I wrote it off. Big mistake. Shortly after, I started hearing banging again, but this time I could really feel it. It was coming from my house. I was generally freaked out, like knives out status, but much more cowardly, coming from my bedroom floor with my ear pressed to the door and knife in hand. It was a strange hollow sound that didn't seem like the front door. It wasn't. I once again called 911, describing what's happening and thinking that they probably could write it off because I sounded crazy. I still feel in shock because this only just happened. Thankfully, the kind dude on the line definitely took me seriously and said someone would be on their way. For the record, the police department is like 3-minute drive from my house. I ended up tiptoeing downstairs to see and once again felt my heart stopped. I went to the front window, ducked down, and there wasn't anyone at the front door. Then the banging starts again, and I can tell how close it is. I go to the side window that overlooks the garage, and that's when I saw him. Dressed in black, hood pulled far over his head, face banging wildly on the garage door with a fucking crowbar. I honestly don't know why he isn't using the crowbar to break in, but I'm super glad he didn't, as the door inside the garage that leads into the house is always left unlocked. To say I panicked was a vast understatement. I nearly pissed myself, which is understandable. I'm just standing there peeking out the window, watching this guy wail on my garage door with a crowbar, thinking how fucking unhinged he must be and how much I want the cops to get there now. When, just like before, he runs off. I quite literally just got done giving a report to the cops that showed up. My family was woken up and had to talk to them as well. As they're the homeowners, now they're both so freaked out that my dad just ordered 4 exterior cameras to monitor the house. I don't think it's over yet. The man has some reason he's targeting my house, possibly me, since he started out by watching outside my window. So, to this man, you better hope we never meet. I have a crowbar too. Oh, God. Okay. I mean, thankfully, yeah, he wasn't using the crowbar, and, sure, you know, I would also keep the garage, like, the door that leads to the garage locked, because cases like this can totally happen. I'm also super paranoid when it comes to this kind of stuff, because, like I've said before, people are freaky. You know, you never know how the person really is, man. Like, there's more updates. So let's move on to the next update. So this is update number 2. This was from 3 months ago. So I'm not even sure if this is relevant to the previous posts about the person watching through my window and banging on my garage door with a crowbar. But I'm worried that everything may be connected somehow. A week ago from this last Saturday, I was supposed to meet with a man who had contacted me through social media with friends in common. It wasn't an obvious date, more like a pre-date. We didn't get there, though. He randomly blocked me out of nowhere, and then unblocked and apologized, thinking everything was normal and we were hanging out, when I didn't respond at all. Seeing some major red flags in his behavior, he reached out to tell me that I had thin skin for not just going along with it and meeting him in a debatably isolated place. That's good on you for listening to your instinct, because listen, if you're messaging someone, you're for the first time, and it seems everything's great, and if they tell you, it's like, hey, let's meet at said isolated location where there's nobody around, that is an immediate red flag. Please do not meet this person. Okay? Don't. I brushed it off, only to get a message from a different man, seemingly unconnected, blatantly asking for a date exactly a week later. I asked him up front, and kind of rudely, why he reached out and wanted to date me, but he was seemingly unfazed. We seemed to have a lot in common, and we were supposed to meet tonight. Here's where it gets weird. I asked him if we should meet at 6 in a particular spot. He saw it, but said nothing. I figured since he was at work, he was busy, but then nothing all day, and when I checked again, he saw it after we were supposed to meet, and still nothing. He pursued me, just as the last guy, but this time made me more nervous, because it felt like he wanted to make sure I was certain I was at a certain place, at a certain time. For the record, it is a public place, but also very dark in the parking lot, and somewhat rural. I didn't think much of that at first, as it's a place I've gone all my life, but it feels like something is going on here. These two men were not reaching out through a dating app. I'm not on any yet, as I wasn't sure about being ready to date again. And I wanted to let things not happen, organically. They found me through social media. Maybe it's not connected, but commenters on the other post pointed out how easy it is to find someone's address through social. Which is true, so be careful on what you post. And these two men reaching out in such a way, acting in such a way, in so close a time, makes me wonder. Maybe my window watching garage door banger is separate. Hell, maybe even those two are separate people. I'm not sure what's scarier, but I'm thinking it's scarier if all this is somehow connected, as my gut tells me. Listening to your gut is very, very important. The text is a little blurry. I gotta put on my glasses. I don't know how well my blinking is going to track now because of my glasses. I just don't believe in coincidences, and after all these things happening at the same time is so suspicious to me. I'll just continue going to my gun handling safety courses and start Muay Thai next month. So there is that. Hope this wasn't a boring update. I really feel a bad feeling about these two guys. And even if they aren't connected, I hope we don't meet. I forgot to add that as many helpful and worried commenters suggested, we have added 4 exterior cameras. Bad news, if you didn't see it in one of my comments on the previous post, my mom lost her keys. They have an AirTag and police have made several attempts to retrieve them, unsuccessfully. We don't always know the location. We have been keeping bedroom doors locked, and there are no extra keys in the main areas to those bedrooms. But it's still very scary, having the whole house rekeyed, and my mom has been using my dad's car since she goes to the neighborhood they're in work for. So yeah, on top of all those weird anxiety-inducing incidents, someone out there has the keys to my house. That is fucking terrifying. If you keep your keys on a separate tiny little thing, attach them to a lanyard and wear it around your neck. Preferably a lanyard that doesn't have like that weird like separate latching thing. You know what I'm talking about? Something like this. I don't know. I'll insert a picture there, but maybe if I remember. But always be careful about your things because reading stuff like this makes me more terrified of fucking strangers. I know, and not everyone's like this, but you know, my ass gets very paranoid. It's like, But anyways, let's go and get to update number 3. So this is from 2 months ago. I honestly wish I wasn't writing this right now. I've had weeks of peace with only the ping of my overactive camera system alerting me to people passing by with their dogs or children. I thought everything was fine, and maybe this isn't the most dramatic update, but it was just another scary tick mark to add to the list. I've gotten an alert to activity outside the garage, giving my garage door crowbar banger. That's the one I always pay most attention to, honestly. I keep weird hours, and it hadn't been on my phone, so at first I thought my dad was leaving for work. Then I saw the recording it made instance later. This man walked boldly up to the car in the driveway, my mom's at the moment, and tried the handles of the doors before running off. I called the police with a good description and told them I have it on video. But my town doesn't have a large police force, and some of them are just like in any department, shady and lazy. I've rewatched it so many times now, and he has the same build as the man I saw at the garage before. That's obviously not definitive, but now I have more details about his description I couldn't see before due to the lack of lighting and cameras. I'm still pretty shaky, even though he didn't try to get in or anything. I was outside not half an hour ago, though in the fenced backyard. I hope this isn't a lame update. It feels like to me, because still nothing is solved, and even though it might be unrelated, is that actually probable? That one person and or their house would attract so much trouble from completely different individuals? It doesn't seem likely. To the man outside my house tonight, let's never meet. Edited to add. This man saw the camera before he ran. I don't know if he would have tried more had he not, but it has little red and blue lights on the front part that rotates a full circle, so even I noticed. It's large and lights up a bit. That's why I thought they deterred creeps so far. Just forgot to put that in because I don't think I'm actually in a great headspace. Second edit of night. Was visited by the police, who very kindly didn't ring the bell. Parents asleep, have been texted about all this. I gave all the evidence, and they found the guy. I don't know for absolute sure if it was the same man that banged on my garage or watched from the window, but I do know that they caught this guy, and my video footage will be used, I guess. I don't know. I was really doubtful they actually sent someone to the chastising text message, non-emergency, was closed, so I called the regular line. As I mentioned in an earlier post about this incident, my dad had told me there has been a lot of car thefts in the neighborhood. Weirdest part to me that I think I just be fucking imagining is that he looks from somewhat fuzzy camera steals quite a bit like the guy I had a one-night stand with a couple months ago, right around when this all started. I really didn't think it could be him, but I'm hoping that since I'm supposed to get the ring footage to the officer tomorrow, don't have access to that one, I can ask who this person is. I'm hoping it's all over now, and I'm so thankful for those who provided me with great advice, which gave me a lot of comfort. Unless I'm wrong and there is a second person, statistically unlikely, this will be my last update on a thankfully closed chapter. Well, there is an update 4. So there's more. So this was from 1 month ago. It's not too long. This is all it is. So let's read update 4. Crappy crap, and fuck everything right now. I did not think I would ever have another update. I feel enraged, scared, helpless, and so many other things right now as this just happened. Basically, I'm either a beacon for creeps, I kinda am, but this is ridiculous at this point, or the guy they caught trying to get into my mom's car was not, in fact, the one watching. Last night, around the same, I noticed a car that was parked sort of in front of my house, but from the angle it gives a good view in my window. I started to open it again due to the heat, and anyway, I thought the trouble was over. I actually usually park in this spot, but it was taken up the other day, so I parked elsewhere, which is only important because I know this spot had a good view into my window. They sat there in their car, idly for a good 10 to 15, then left. I didn't really find it weird, as I figured maybe they had to input directions, take a call, etc. Like happens often. Cut to tonight. I don't know exactly when the car appeared, and because of where they parked, the tree in front of my window, I know they can still see me. But the spot is too dark to see them. I didn't notice at first, but when I did, it was a 10-minute stay, and they drove off. But this time I watched their taillights go around the corner, and they looped back to park closer, windshield facing me this time. Definitely the same car. No one exited. I closed my curtain and watched through the camera as they just sat there. I can kind of even see the silhouette of the person in the car from the video I took. But because of where they parked, The camera had a bad angle and was too far to get any detail, but it looked like the same kind of car. That freaks me out more because it was like they knew where the cameras were and actively avoided them potentially. It's possible after everything, I'm paranoid, but to me, this comes across very creepy and suspicious. I could see them just sitting there, lights on, car running in the dark. But I'm still left very afraid. I've done the suggestions given on my past updates, and although they're helping, I just can't stop being afraid. And what if it's a new person? I've connected and reconnected with a few people, and while I can't picture it being them, I feel very suspicious of everyone right now. I feel like it's just necessary to do this part, and I'm using it like a mantra at this point. But to the person outside my window, leave me the fuck alone, and let's never meet. So that is all the parts of someone is watching me. So I hope that there isn't more updates, because like this is actually quite fucking terrifying. Like the fact that these could all be different people. That, you know, obviously the carjacker was caught, so it's probably not him again. But like this person who's popping up, like if the carjacker was not the same person who was banging on the garage door and had a crowbar in hand, like it could be that person, or it could be somebody else. It could be maybe one of those two people that messaged her on social media. Because here's the thing, okay, like it was mentioned in, you know, in previous posts, previous update, you can find people's addresses. You know, especially when you know if they're like very open about it and all that stuff, and you know their real name and everything like that. Like it's just like that shit is just fucking creepy. Oh yeah, like yeah, this right here. Because I was kind of like, skimming through here, and I don't believe in coincidence either. The main reason I consider it here is because there's a huge difference in stalking someone sneaking around and putting behavior of the dude with the crowbar who just didn't give a flip if he wasn't seen. Also considering putting some rock around your house, like the sides of it, kind of give use, like the kind they use for driveways to make as much noise as possible to be quiet. You know, that is true. That is true. That could totally help. You know, like that kind of gravelly kind of stuff. Like if someone's walking on it, driving on it, you know, like this comment said, you'll hear it all. You'll hear it all. It's like you can try to sneak, but it's still like how you step on it, like even if you do like some weird like crawling motion or something like that, how the rocks are gonna move is it's going to make a fucking noise. So that is a good suggestion. Oh, they did move the cameras around. That's good, you know, especially like if this person, like in this current update, knows all the camera locations, which is fucking terrifying, because if they know the locations of the cameras, so that means they've walked around the entire house and looked. It was like, okay, this camera is there, this camera is this way, you know, and or it's pointing in, you know, in this direction, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff, you know. Or they could have potentially done it in the daytime, you know, maybe like if they're all out of the house, you know, working or something, doing stuff, they could have took the opportunity then, like, oh, no one's home, okay, camera here, blah 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 blah. So it's just, so yeah, that was all the parts of Let's Not Meet. So this one was a little bit shorter than the last one. These sheets and stuff wasn't super duper long, because some of them are much longer than others. So yeah, try not to make these over an hour if I can, especially for stuff like this. But if it's something more in depth, and okay, then maybe I can go a little bit over an hour. But usually I want to keep these videos a little bit on the shorter side. Sorry for all the little background noises. I mean, it is in the daytime. I don't film these at night because I usually like to film and edit generally on the same day. So other than that is not this week's, but this Saturday's episode of Spooky Reads. Now, next Spooky Reads, obviously I will not have another one for this month. We got another multi-part right here. So I could read that next time. And the fact that these are off from the same day is kind of creepy. But anyways, so let's end this episode of Let's Not Meet. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I do have some ideas for more really, I guess, more in-depth, more complicated content and all that kind of stuff for Spooky Saturdays. So, but those will require a lot more research. So I have a couple ideas in mind, but we'll see. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed these. These are fun. So I will see you guys next time. And remember, be careful who you trust on the internet. Bitches are scary. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.